So last week we talked about pride, and we were supposed to go into pride, women, and ego. We mainly sticked on the topic of pride, and by itself, it is a deadly disease. For those of you that do not know, pride-itis is one of the most self-debilitating diseases of mankind. It has caused so many people to die. It has been the downfall of kings, business owners, family members, athletes, entertainers. The list goes on and on. Everyday individuals have been succumbed to the disease of pride-itis. And so now it was a topic that was associated in week 7 with pride, ego, and women and unchecked emotions. All right. But so the women is something that us men, this is a conversation that us men cannot shy away from. This is very important. All right. So now we need to go down, and we're going to be talking about women today, and we're going to be talking about why is it important to remain sexually pure. So if you have your syllabus, you can go along with us. If not, you could just listen. All right. So, and if anyone, I'm not even going to ask you to do that right now since we already started. All right. So, why is it important to remain sexually pure? That's a good question for the body of believers today. And so we want to go back and revisit time. This is something that we need to take into consideration. Women. Now, I'm not calling women evil. I'm not trying to sit back and talk about women that are striving to be righteous, those that love the Most High, those that read the scriptures, those that are trying to teach their children the right things, those that may be single and they're pure and they're holding out and they're refraining from sexual activity. I'm not talking about them. But on the flip side of those women that's trying to do the right thing, all right, the Bible explicitly talks about how women are evil and women can be evil in certain aspects. And so you choosing the right one can be a prime, it could be closely connected to your success and your failure in life just by the women that you chose to be with, especially those of you that are seeking to be married, those of you that are striving to have you a companion and a helpmeet. You got to take these things into consideration. So we're going to talk about that. There are some men in the scriptures that have failed. They have failed as it relates to women. When you look back at the very first man, Adam, he failed as a result of hearkening to the voice of a woman. Now, yes, he could have downplayed her advice and said, I'm not going against the commandments of the Most High. And the Most High, they said, could have made another woman. All right, that wasn't the case, though. He listened, he hearkened unto the voice of the woman. And at that time, she became his God, or in the Hebrew, Elohim. She became the one who he looked to. Because if anyone can cause us to go against the commandments of the Most High, they at that time become our God. At that moment. In this case, the woman did become his God. And so there are so many of us that have allowed women to become our gods, our Elohims in life. When the things that we do to impress women, a lot of times we are trying to impress women every single day, whether it's our wives, whether it's just a woman that we want to notice us, to give us their approval. And so for those of you that have this book right here, it's called the Apocrypha. It was in the original King James Bible, okay? And 14 books in here. And for those of you that have First Ezra chapter 4, I want you to turn there for a second. First Ezra chapter 4. For those of you who don't have this book, just listen in. And I'm going to break this down in a summary for you real quick. So in this scripture, in this passage of scripture, these men, they came to King Darius. And for those of you who don't know who King Darius is, he was the ruler in the book of Daniel who took over after Nebuchadnezzar. So they came to King Darius and they were trying to come up overnight. So they came about a group of like 3 or 4 men. They came and they said, let's go to present to the king a riddle, and let's get and whoever riddle the king chooses, this person will be promoted to great honor and esteem and things of that nature. So the king agreed to it, and the topics of discussion that they said, who is the strongest? Is it wine? Is it women? Or is it the king? And so the first man, he made his pitch on why wine was the strongest among people and how it causes how it brings the common man to the rich man and causes them to sit down and be able to drink together and be all at the same level playing field when they're drinking and consuming together. Then someone else came and talked about the power of the king. And then they came and talked about how mighty the king was. And then the next one came and said, well, oh, is it women? Women. So let's talk about the women. He pleaded his case on how women was the strongest. So let's go here. We're going to go to 1 Ezra chapter 4 and verse 13. It said, then the third who has spoken of women and of the truth, who was Zerubbabel, began to speak. O ye men, is it not the great king, nor it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth over them, or have lordship over them? Are they not women? Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards from whence the wine cometh. They also make garments for men. They bring glory to men, and without women cannot men be. Yeah, and if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? And letting all those things go, do they not gape and even with an open mouth fix their eyes fast on her? And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or to gold and any goodly thing whatsoever? I want y'all to listen to this for a second. This is saying how far men will go. It said that men have more desire for a woman than for silver, than for gold. They look at women, they gape, all right, with their mouth wide open when they see them. Number 21, number 20. And a man leaveth his own father that brought him up and his own country and cleaveth unto his wife. So many of us have left our own cities, left our own states to go move to the city and state of our wife. 22. By this also you must know that women have dominion over you. Do you not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? Yeah, a man taketh his sword and go his way to rob and steal, to sail among the seas and upon rivers, and to look upon a lion and go into darkness. And when he have stolen and spoiled and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. Wherefore a man loveth wife better than father or mother. Yeah, many that be have run out of their wits for a woman and have become servants for their sakes. Listen here, they said that there are people that have become servants for women. It said men have left their father and their mother to go and be with a woman in another city. They went out of their wits. Did Adam go out of his wits for a woman? They have went out of their wits to please a woman. 27, many also have perished and erred and sinned for women. And now do you not believe me? Is not the king great in his honor? Do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him in Apami, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admiral Bardachus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head and sitting it upon her own head. She also struck the king with her left hand. And yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. And if she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter that she might be reconciled to him again. How many of you know men like that? When the woman start laughing, the man start laughing. When the woman looks sad, the man looks sad. This is power that women have expressed over a man. If the man is weak, if the man is not in tune with the Most High, the woman is, in some cases, a nice amount of cases, a stronger authoritative figure. Let's continue. So this talk about the king, though, right here. This is the king who the one that can say a word and the woman can get put to death. But this woman smacked him with her left hand, and all the king did was sit back with his mouth wide open and was gaping at her. And then, so down to 32. And oh, ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? Then the king and the princes looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth. So now, let's stop right there. So I just wanted to share some things with you all in those passages of scripture.